we don't know by now, Disney/Lucasfilm have a terrible recognition with Star Wars. Everything that they've done has been questionable over the past 4 to 5 years. They've been making movies, or been in the works of making movies. It's just everything that they've been doing is kind of iffy. Now, I know what you're saying, this isn't the last Jedi hate video against Rian Johnson, or whoever it may be. I'm not doing that. I mean, just in general, what Disney/Lucasfilm are doing to Star Wars are my opinions on it, of what happened in the past. And I kind of want to start off by saying, or kind of talking about the whole director situation where you have Disney's plan, Lucasfilm's plan to make the sequel trilogy. When I first heard about it, which was basically 3 separate directors making 3 separate films without any correlation to one another. Now, I thought to myself when I first heard about this, like 2014 or whatever, early 2015, I don't know when, but before The Force Awakens, but I said to myself, this is a horrible idea, and I still do to this day. What kind of movie franchise? A billion-dollar franchise. What kind of franchise would do something like that, where we just have 3 separate directors with no consistent story make a trilogy? That's a horrible idea. I wish there was some sort of, like, other way they could have done this. Maybe they could have had J.J. Abrams direct the entire trilogy, or maybe not have Rian Johnson direct the middle movie then. Because, look what happened. Originally, there was 3 separate directors. Because what I heard is that what Rian Johnson did to the movie, you know, killing Luke Skywalker, having flying Leia all over the place. The director for Episode 9, I don't know his name, he was in a rage. He was like, well, I was going to use Luke for Episode 9. He was supposed to die in my film. But he didn't know, no one cared. Disney was like, yep, you're fired. And that was just a rumor that he either got fired or he quit because of that. Probably Disney fired him because he wanted Last Jedi to be changed, but they're like, no, but I don't know. I don't know all the little details. But that was a while ago, and J.J. Abrams is making 9 now. So it goes, why wasn't the plan just for have J.J. Abrams direct the entire sequel trilogy? Because he directed the Star Trek trilogy, and that was fine. I mean, I don't watch it very often, but those movies were watched by millions of people. It reinvented Star Trek. He reinvented Star Wars. He's good with these sci-fi franchises. I was worried about The Force Awakens that would be too much like Star Trek, but it wasn't, because he directed it. I believe he directed the entire trilogy of Star Trek. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he did. And if he did direct the entire trilogy of Star Trek, why can't he do with Star Wars? I don't understand. So that's my complaint about that. It's just having 3 separate directors direct 3 separate movies, such a terrible idea. But I'm not here to fully bash on it. I'm here to give a confirmation, an idea, how it could have been fixed, how you could have done this. And I know my idea to do this is similar to Marvel, where sure, you have so many directors making different movies. They're basically like Lucasfilm. You have different directors directing different movies, having their own ideas, but they're different because there's a story group. There is a story group. There is a story, an overarching story between all these movies, where I don't know the logistics to making a Marvel movie. I'm pretty sure you can make whatever you want, but it has to follow criteria of whether having a Power Stone in the movie or having this or that. So the way the movie has to go, but I think the director's job is to make it look good or add what you want, but at the end it has to reach those criteria. If they did that with a sequel trilogy and have every movie have like a story plan or overarching story where you have to have certain points in the movie where each director has to follow it. They can do whatever they want, but they have to follow these criteria in a clever way that isn't really obvious to the viewer. Just make your story flow naturally with these points, but make what you want. If they would have done that, that would have been fine. But having 3 separate writers for each movie is a terrible idea. Now, Rian Johnson, because I have a theory that Rian Johnson would have just ignored that and just made his own movie, and at the last act of the movie just added in those points that were supposed to be added in throughout that movie, just throw them in at the last, 15 minutes. You just shoehorn them in. That's what Rian Johnson would have probably done, because he's an individual thinker. He does not follow leaders. He makes what he wants, which is inspiring. But when you work with a trilogy, you can't make your own movie. You have to follow a trilogy, which I think Ryan Johnson completely neglected, which is why so many people hate Last Jedi, because Last Jedi is an amazing movie. When you put it in with the rest of Star Wars and the sequel trilogy, it doesn't fit at all. So it's like, whose fault was that? It's not Ryan Johnson's fault. He's a director. Directors are made to make movies, direct a movie. He wrote and directed the movie. What do you want from him? He was told what he was supposed to do, make a movie, which he did. I blame Kathleen Kennedy, the president behind Lucasfilm. She could have easily put a third group behind Lucasfilm. There is people who run all the Star Wars lore. Why couldn't they just write an overarching sequel trilogy? Why can't they do that? Was it because it was not formed? Well, it should have been formed. I think they should have had a story group making a sequel trilogy, or kind of the overarching, kind of a brief summary of the sequel trilogy of each movie, what's supposed to happen, what was supposed to happen at the end of Episode 9, how it's supposed to finish with Star Wars. That could have been amazing if they'd done that, but they didn't. Now, what we have is not the best. It isn't. And the reason why I'm making this video is because my mom actually got really mad over Star Wars, because Disney bought Fox, and she just went on a rant about Star Wars. I don't know why. I don't know what Star Wars has to do with Disney buying Fox, but she just went on a rant, and it's like, what she's saying, like, Rey's a Mary Sue, she learned her powers for no reason, she has her powers for no reason. Ben Solo, not attractive man, he's just pathetic, blah blah blah. It's basically how every Star Wars fan feels, for the most part, and it's what prompts me to make this video, because this is a serious issue. Because if my mom has that problem with sequel trilogy, then who knows how many other people, how many older people have problems with Star Wars. That's the problem. Disney, Lucasfilm, I'm not Lucasfilm. Screw Disney. Disney didn't do anything. It's Lucasfilm who did this. I don't know why I keep saying Disney Lucasfilm. It's Lucasfilm. They screwed up Star Wars. They're not gonna fix Episode 9, I don't feel like, unless they really try. Unless they Thor Ragnarok this and make it a really funny, rewatchable movie that connects with the other movies, but not in a big impactful way. Just mention them so you know what the story's about. You know, that kind of thing. But it's really, really frustrating seeing people online just commenting, oh, Star Wars is dead, Star Wars is ruined, my childhood's ruined. It isn't. You have two other trilogies, 6 movies that you can rewatch. It's not ruined, because if it was ruined, then there wouldn't be any more Star Wars. I won't be talking about it. I wouldn't have made a channel then, based off of Star Wars. So, that's all I'm going to be talking about. Things have got heated, you know. But, it's basically it. I'm done talking about Star Wars. It's for now. See you all next time, everyone. I just want to get this video out there just to give my opinions. I know this video's been done countless times by other YouTubers, how they just hate Disney Lucasfilm and how they have a poor handling of Star Wars, but I just want to get into the mix of that. Hopefully, if you manage to watch this, because if you have, then hit that like button and subscribe. Bye.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess.